Dubai. My dream finally came true, and guys, it was a total wow moment. The experience blew my expectations completely out of the water. But let's be real, there were some disappointments along the way. In this video, I'm going to break down my entire trip for you, what I saw, where I went, and exactly how much everything cost, with all the secret passwords, addresses, and links down in the description below, just in case you want to copy-paste my itinerary. I finally took a vacation in Dubai. I've wanted to visit this city for so long. Yeah, there were times like that. I actually bought tickets twice before, and both times the trip fell through. The first time was because of Corona, and the second time, I honestly can't even remember why. But as they say, third time's the charm, and I finally made it to the United Arab Emirates. I flew with a friend, and all the prices I mention will be for 2 people. We jetted off for nearly 4 full days. We landed early Wednesday morning and flew back late Saturday night. The hotel. We stayed for 3 nights at a 5-star hotel with a stellar rating on Booking.com called Al Bandar Rotana for $660. The hotel is stunning, brand new, and just screams expensive and fancy. It features a heated rooftop pool and a fully equipped gym. The service was absolutely top tier, which seems to be the standard everywhere in Dubai. We arrived about 2 hours before check-in, and while we waited, they treated us to complimentary drinks specifically. We ordered cappuccinos, and they were completely on the house. They checked us in about 40 minutes later, well before the official time. The second our room was ready. The room itself was spacious, sterile, clean, and modern, though the view was a bit of a letdown. Our windows faced the neighboring building, so we kept the curtains drawn the whole time. The room did come with a fun surprise, though, a glass wall looking into the bathroom that you can turn from transparent to opaque with the flick of a switch. Location-wise, in my opinion, it wasn't the greatest. Yes, it's right on the creek, but it's quite a trek from the main attractions, and the metro is about a 15-minute walk away. On the bright side, it's a stone's throw from the airport, literally a 15-minute drive. Then again, the price wasn't too steep compared to other 5-star properties in the city. Breakfast was included in the rate. We could have booked without it, but I figured this would be less of a hassle. The breakfast spread was solid, delicious, diverse, and all you can eat. Day 1, we landed at Dubai Airport, and everything went smoothly. No excessive questioning at passport control. No one gave us weird looks. Plus, at passport control, they handed us a free SIM card with 5 gigabit of data valid for 24 hours. We took our free taxi to the hotel and got settled. For our first day, we decided to explore the historic districts of Dubai Al Fahidi and Al Seef. To get there, we had to cross the creek. We did this on a traditional water bus, and the ride cost, get this, 2 dirhams per person. I honestly didn't understand the guy at first when he told me the price. During the planning phase, I had my eye on a cool, authentic restaurant there for traditional cuisine, so we decided to grab lunch at Al Khaimah Heritage Restaurant. This place was incredible, super atmospheric, like something straight out of an Arabian fairy tale. We ordered shrimp soup, 2 mango shakes, hummus, honestly one of the best I've ever tasted, and a meat platter with rice. The portions were massive, and everything was so delicious that by the end of the meal, I looked like I was 4 or 5 months pregnant. We ate like we hadn't seen food in weeks. Lunch came to 336 dirhams. Afterward, we wandered around the neighborhood. The area feels like a luxury open-air market filled with restaurants, cafes, and shops selling spices, cashmere, perfumes, and that famous Dubai chocolate. They were selling the chocolate on every corner, knockoffs, obviously, which I naturally bought and tried, and there were tons of promoters trying to pull you into their shops. They were calling out to us from literally every stall. It got a little annoying. They can be quite aggressive with their sales tactics. That said, the place is incredibly atmospheric, beautiful, and spotless. I have to mention the cleanliness. It feels like even the pigeons wouldn't dare make a mess there. We walked around until evening, and the place is just as stunning at night as it is during the day. Day 2, we had something special planned for the evening, so we decided to spend the morning doing something basic and headed to the Dubai Mall. It is an insane shopping center, easily the biggest I have ever seen. It houses that famous massive aquarium filled with sharks. We enjoyed the view from the outside, but didn't bother buying tickets to go inside. Honestly, I don't think there's much point in going to Dubai specifically for shopping. The prices for brands we have back home are about the same, so the UAE isn't exactly the place for bargain hunting. However, I'm pretty sure they have every brand in existence. The exterior areas are beautiful too. In the evening, we headed to dinner in the sky. And oh my god, it was a delight. We arrived a bit early, as per the rules, and were given passports marked with our pre-selected menu choices. You choose what you're going to eat in the sky beforehand when you book. The selection is small, 2 starters, 4 mains, and 2 desserts. When it was time, we got a safety briefing and were strapped into bucket seats attached to a massive table. In the center of the table, there are chefs, waiters, and a safety instructor. Then, a crane lifted the entire platform 50 meters into the air. Just so you understand, the only thing separating my butt from a freefall was that chair. There is no floor beneath your feet. It's terrifying at first. Every muscle in your body clenches up, but you get used to it, and once you start looking around and down, it is absolutely breathtaking. What did we order? For starters, I had the Italian burrata, and my friend had the Arabic mezz. For the main course, I chose the salmon, and he got the meat. For dessert, I had the blueberry cheesecake, and he had the chocolate sphere. Drinks, water, and juices were unlimited. Let me tell you something. Forget the fact that we were dangling in the air, and the presentation was top tier. The food was so delicious, we had to restrain ourselves from licking the plates. We ate every last crumb. As of right now, this restaurant holds the #1 spot in my personal rankings. The dinner lasted 1 hour and cost 1440 dirhams, and it was worth every single penny. Day 3. We headed to the desert first thing in the morning. By the way, we booked this trip about 7 hours before the driver actually picked us up. We kept putting it off because we were so exhausted from our other wanderings, and finding exactly what we wanted from a desert trip turned out to be tricky. The issue is that most companies offer these huge packages with barbecues, belly dancing, and all that touristy fluff. We just wanted to be picked up, taken to the desert, given a buggy to drive, and brought back. We also specifically wanted a morning trip and a buggy, not a quad bike or a jeep. Why? Because on a quad bike you ride solo, and we wanted to ride together. In a jeep, you're stuck with up to 6 people in a closed car driven by someone else. Finally, at around 2 a.m., I found a company that seemed too good to be true. I messaged them at 2 a.m., asking a million questions to figure out if there was a catch. Our biggest fear was being kidnapped and dumped in the middle of the desert. Yes, we are paranoid. I was texting them on WhatsApp in the middle of the night, and they answered everything, even sending links to their TripAdvisor page. By the way, it's better not to book directly through TripAdvisor, because the price is double for the exact same thing. But we did read the reviews. Eventually, we decided to go for it. And too good to be true turned out to actually be true. But before we left the hotel, paranoid Dasha told the receptionist, "If we aren't back by evening, sound the alarm." Long story short, they picked us up at 9 a.m. and drove us to the desert, which took about an hour. They gave us a buggy for 2 and a guide on a quad bike, and we set off to have a blast in the dunes. It was spectacular, not a soul around, pure beauty, and it wasn't too hot since we were there in winter. The guide took photos of us like a pro, telling us how to pose, where to look, and what to do. The pictures turned out incredible. They told us morning trips are best because there are no crowds. So essentially, we got a private tour. In the evenings, they group several buggies together, and the guide can't give you that individual attention. They drove us back to the hotel without a hitch. This desert adventure cost 700 dirhams for the 2 of us. In the evening, we went to the Madinat Jumeirah area. People call this the Venice of Dubai. Again, super beautiful, clean, rich and fancy, and very atmospheric. There are tons of restaurants with stunning views, and the Madinat Jumeirah souk, which I would describe as a super luxury market. As strange as that sounds, lots of jewelry, spices again, sparkling clothes that practically blind you, souvenirs, perfumes, and so on. Day 4, the final day. Our flight was at night, so we had the whole day ahead of us, and it turned out to be the day of queues. We planned to go up the Burj Khalifa that day. We booked tickets 2 days in advance, because there were literally 0 tickets available any earlier. And once we got there, we understood why the sheer number of people was unbelievable. We went back to Dubai Mall, since the entrance to the tower is inside the mall. And guys, it was an absolute nightmare. If I had known what was waiting for us, I wouldn't have gone up there even for free. Just to give you an idea, we spent about an hour moving from one line to another. One queue ends, another begins. That was just the line for the elevators. We finally reached the 124th and 125th floors, completely drained, and it was so packed you couldn't breathe. You had to wait just to get near the glass. The views from the Burj are undeniably stunning. Very beautiful. The building itself boggles the mind. You realize the person who conceived this and brought it to life is a genius. Anyway, we hung out there for about 15 to 20 minutes, there's nothing else to do, and decided to head down. And that's where the surprise hit us. There was a line not just to go up, but to get down too. We stood in line for another hour, just waiting for the elevators to descend. We practically sighed with relief when we finally got out. I don't know if it's always hell on earth like that, or if we just got unlucky with the day. We were there on a Saturday. Originally, I tried to book for Thursday, but everything was sold out. Maybe in the summer when there are fewer tourists. The lines aren't this bad, but honestly, what we saw at the top was not worth standing in a 2-hour queue. And we paid for this misery, of course. This adventure cost 360 dirhams for the two of us. After that, hungry, disappointed, and exhausted, we decided to get lunch. Someone recommended a French restaurant in Dubai Mall, so we headed there. We could barely find it. As I said, Dubai Mall is immense. We walked 15 minutes just to get to the restaurant, but it was truly worth it. The restaurant is called Leggere Dubai. We ordered onion soup, a bacon burger, avocado toast with shrimp, coffee with a macaron, and a Coke. We paid 341 dirhams. This restaurant is located in the Fashion Avenue of the mall, where all the luxury brands like Hermes, Dior, Miu Miu, and so on are located. I apologize in advance for the toilet content, but I have to tell you this. I went to the restroom there, and I was shocked that the mall bathroom was more luxurious than some 5-star hotels. First of all, everything is so perfect, there's not a single flaw for your eye to catch. The towels are stacked perfectly. The corners of the tissues are folded into little triangles, and there is a woman standing there, just to ensure it stays in that permanently pristine state. Done with the toilet talk, moving on. It was getting dark, and we decided not to rush anywhere else, but to wait for the famous Dubai fountains. It's all in the same area, right next to the mall. The shows happen every half hour. The crowds were insane, but we staked out a spot and waited. The spectacle was beautiful, and definitely worth the wait. After that, we headed back to the hotel for our bags, and then off to the airport. How we got around? We used the metro and taxis. The trains are super convenient and run frequently. Our trips ranged from 5 to 7.5 dirhams per person, depending on the distance. You buy a card and top it up at a machine. It's all very user-friendly, with an English interface. Actually, everything in Dubai is duplicated in English, so it's very easy to figure things out. I'm pretty sure more people there speak English than Arabic. Just keep in mind that the trains can get packed. We got caught in rush hour once, and it gave me flashbacks to commuting to work on the Moscow metro, in the mornings getting crushed in the crowd. Sometimes, not even able to squeeze into the car. Not exactly a pleasure cruise. A convenient feature of the trains is the women and children-only carriages. It's an awesome concept. You feel safe and very comfortable riding with just other women. However, since I was traveling with a male friend, I only rode in the women's car once just to see what it was like, and to film, because it's usually the last car and offers great views of the city. The rest of the time, I rode in the general carriage to be with my travel companion. And let me tell you, that is quite an experience. There are very few women in the general cars, maybe 5%. So, I felt like the only woman in the carriage and the only white person. At first, it was uncomfortable being in a crowd of only men, but then I realized they didn't even look in my direction. The laws there apparently work so well to protect women that you can get in serious trouble for even a wrong glance. Taxis cost about the same as in West Europe. Our most expensive ride, about 40-50 minutes, cost us 100 dirhams. The cheapest ride from the hotel to the airport was 30 dirhams. We ordered taxis through the Careem app. There's a tab for Hala Taxi. It's very convenient, finds a car instantly, and you don't need a Dubai phone number to register. The drivers are silent, they just pick you up, take you where you need to go, and you pay via the app by the meter, just how I like it. Keep in mind, Dubai is a massive city with huge distances and traffic jams, so sometimes getting from point A to point B takes a lot of time. Weather and clothing. We went in February, and I think it's the ideal time. While we were there, it was about 77 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, 25 to 30 degrees Celsius, during the day, and around 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Celsius, at night. I brought a few sweaters, but never even took them out. The warmest I dressed was for dinner in the sky, because it was night and windy up top, so it can get chilly, but honestly, I ended up taking my jacket off and sitting in a light sweater. I always carried a button-down shirt that I threw in my suitcase at the last minute, and that was a lifesaver. Indoors can be cool, not freezer cold, but the AC is on, plus when the sun sets, you want something light with long sleeves. Regarding modesty, it's an Arab Muslim country, so there are stereotypes, forget them. I and everyone around me dressed exactly like we do in other secular countries. I walked around with my midriff exposed and bare shoulders. Girls were wearing short dresses, shorts that barely covered their butts, and plunging necklines. You feel absolutely comfortable in that regard. Regarding behavior, like kissing and hugging in public, it's not recommended. Sometimes you need to hold hands so you don't lose each other in a crowd. And we saw locals holding hands, presumably husbands and wives, but I didn't see anyone making out or hugging on the street, and we avoided that too. The reality is, in Dubai, you barely interact with locals. 90% of Dubai's residents are expats, foreign workers and tourists. The service industry is staffed entirely by foreign workers from India, various Arab countries, Pakistan, Asia, etc. You see locals sometimes in restaurants or malls, but you don't really interact with them. Overall, I felt safe and very confident. I didn't feel uncomfortable being in an Arab Muslim country. My verdict on Dubai: I am completely obsessed. It's hard to even describe, but I fell in love with this city. I enjoyed everything, except the lines, the service, the beauty of the city, the design, how they built this mind-blowing metropolis in the middle of the desert. It feels like a city living in the future. It is spotless everywhere again. I swear the birds don't even dare to poop there. Even in places with lots of birds, everything runs like a Swiss watch. Everything is on time and top quality. The level of service is the highest I've encountered anywhere abroad. Prices felt about the same, sometimes even lower, than in West Europe, but the value you get for that money is significantly higher. In short, I'm thrilled. I recommend you go, don't be afraid. By the way, I bought that famous Dubai chocolate. I got the original for 65 dirhams and the knockoff, which is sold from every iron and corner store, for 25 dirhams. The original is definitely tastier. You can taste the high quality of the chocolate. The fake is not the same. Subscribe to my second YouTube channel, where I'll be posting shorts about Dubai, breaking down the total cost of the trip, and discussing things I didn't cover in this video. And if you want more travel content like this, definitely smash that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.